Welcome back to some professional Starcraft 2 between two of the top Korean players of all time. I was trying to follow that up with something I wasn't sure. In the bottom right, some say he is best, but all say he is Zest. Wow. And in the top left, the self-described solid macro Terran player. Kier, you really need to market yourself better. Solid macro Terran player. From Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Yes, that is the real name of a real StarCraft team. Cure. Cure is... Please play mech. I've been playing mech against Protoss. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I don't think on all maps and in all scenarios it's like... Well, if you ask Terran players, we should be able to play mech and bio at all times on all maps. And also, all maps should have a cliff that is just the entire half the main base. So, if Protosses want to wall off against Reapers, it takes 3 Nexi. So, we're not going to let Terran players make all the balanced decisions. But... when it comes to mech, it definitely has fallen off against Protoss. There was like a month, maybe 1 month in 2019 where it became a thing, where players are like, and then Protoss players realized, you know what, Immortals and Archons are still good units. Just don't open Blink Stalkers into Zealots and do like anything else, and you'll probably be fine. So that was unfortunate. QR gets any spots. There's nothing out on the map he needs to worry about. It's going to be a 1-gate expand up against... Is there a Reaper? It looks like a Reaper's coming across now. But Reaper expand is... If I had $1 for every time I saw a Reaper expand, I would have a lot of dollars. In fact, like if I had to pick a build that would give me the most dollars in the history of StarCraft, this would be the build. Wait, does a grenade bounce you over the top of this? Anyways, he gets up. Wait, did he see the Stargate? Oh my god. Did you know if you wall off like this and put your Stargate in vision range, he can see your Stargate? Come on, Zest. The entire point is to stop the Reaper from scouting. Okay, not the entire point. It's also to stop it from doing damage. But Zest just, like, he could have put it a little further away. Maybe he didn't know that wasn't a wall. I'm not sure. Gotta be careful not to wall off your own adept in that location as well. Stargate is, well, in the hands of the right player. And Zest has some very adept hands. Soft, supple, malleable, strong, accurate. A lot of adjectives. But Zest has great hands. And since his hands are so great... Okay, this is getting weird. Since his hands are so great, they can use those Phoenixes and actually make use of them. A lot of the time you see players go Stargate and then just die to pretty much anything, because Stargate units, if you're not very active with Stargate units, so the Stargate was spotted. That's important, but a lot of the time you're expecting an Oracle first. Is there a Widow Mine in the mix out here? No, he's just going for Cyclones. Kira's going to play defensive, but when the Phoenixes come flying in, it requires a very different response. Wow, Zest, are you really just going to take a third? He's bringing the probe down. 3 gates are the choice. No other tech yet. Getting a second gas. The probe's waiting for an opportunity. The Reaper looking for options. It looks like Kira's going to be boring. I mean, he's just going to go for a standard bio build. Behind this, 3 racks on 2 base. Usually taking the 3rd as you move out. I've never... not never, but recently have not seen much of Phoenix up against a bio... Well... That Reaper is incredibly valuable. That is one of the most valuable Reapers he could have had. Seeing the Phoenix count and the 3rd base timing, that gives him all the information he needs and some warning time so we can actually deal with these Phoenixes. Now we see 2 Cyclones and 3 Marines, which is definitely an awkward number. Is there a Widow Mine? He saw 2 Cyclones, so there's a pretty good chance there's not a mine. Oh, he uses the scan and from downtown. God, they have so much range. Knocks down 1 Phoenix. It's going to be +1 armor and charge for those speed lots behind this. +1 armor, of course, allows the Zealots a greater likelihood of closing the distance. It's more about getting on top of those units as opposed to doing a little bit more damage. Templar Archives immediately behind it. He's going to try to buy time with the Phoenixes and then get the tech behind that. Whether it's going to be Storm or straight into Archons, when you're going for charge lots, you got plenty of gas left over. He's still building Phoenixes. It looks like 5 is the number he wants. Okay. Alright, that's a little greedy. A drop is loaded up. Cure. Gonna try to throw things off. If you catch... This is a very fragile unit composition that Zest has right now. Until charge and +1 armor are finished, if he doesn't have everything allocated in the right spot to defend, even if he does, it's gonna be dicey. But if he doesn't, then it's very easy to just fall apart. This drop is a little slow on coming in with the rest of the army. He scans forward. An Archon being merged and pushed up. Charge is closing in. Chrono boost on charge and +1 armor. It looks like charge will complete before any serious... Okay, Cure just drops it out. He's realizing now that Archons are on the field, his army is a lot more vulnerable than he thought. Backs off. 3rd Command Center is halfway done for Cure. He hasn't been building SCVs very religiously, so he's going to be down in the worker count, but he's focusing on tech. Some Widow Mines on the way, another barracks. Wouldn't be surprised to see a Ghost Academy soon. +1 armor, 1-1, but weapons versus armor right now on the ground. Some Widow Mines join up. 2 more medevacs. Drop comes in again. It's going to be charge lots up against this. Well, Cyclone looking for an opportunity. The drop is the kicker, though. He's trying to drag units out of position. There's a lot of Zealots here. Widow Mines looking for an opportunity. The drop is coming in towards the main. Zest is fighting. He drags the Widow Mines into the army. Gets on top of the Marines. Going to pick up more, but the drop in the back. Zest does react. He's going to lose 5 probes so far. Targeting down some of these Zealots before they can even complete. Gets a couple of them. Actually will grind through the Zealots, but at the same time, Cure's army getting sliced up. And back come the Phoenixes. Most of them, in fact, I think all of them surviving. So Cure attempted to do a dual-prong attack, but each side is slapped down. I think that could have gone worse. He didn't lose the main medevacs. Some of the units got out of there. Probes were killed, which drags the worker count a little bit closer to even. Overall, so far, Zest holding strongly, as you might expect. But what's Cure's next play? He's building Widow Mines. He's getting bio. Does he have an armory? No. So if he's not going to go for Ghosts, if he's not going to go for Liberators or even upgrades, like, does he just attack all out again? There's an armory and a second engine bay, but there's no higher tech besides those mines. Once Storm is on the field, the mines aren't going to cut it. There's still Phoenixes, which last time Zest tried to sacrifice... Oh, this is a little awkward. Zest not quite on top. Could have gotten a couple mines there. But Cure's coming across the map, and in fact, I don't think Zest has seen this. The map is dark and full of Terrans. Now, there are a couple Templar with Storm ready. Both sides, 1-1 complete. Spots the army. Zest Phoenixes are on the wrong side of the map to help out with this. Storm going to be super important. Nice split from Cure. There's only 1 more Storm in the tank. Oh, Storms for the back! Widow Mines connecting. Another Storm. He's down to 1 Storm, I believe. He's got to be careful about the Phoenixes when it comes to dragging Widow Mines or just generally. Nice split there. He scans, looking for observers, I assume. Oh, beautiful mine hits! Knocking out a lot of the charge lots, but at the same time, there's more coming in from the 3rd. Archon's knocking down anything the Phoenixes are picking up. Charge lots kited back. Ghost Academy is on the way, but at the same time as the counterattack, the Robo Bay. More Widow Mines. He's trying to drag them into the army. He kind of does. Cure's being pushed back all the way to his natural. The medevac's still intact, helping out a little bit. The Phoenix is going to try to target a couple more down, but will lose a couple of their number in the process. Just as Ghosts are hitting the field, guess what? Zest is one step ahead. He's got 2 Colossi being chrono boosted out. Blink is on the way to help, well, eventually Liberators and Vikings are the major threats, especially once the Phoenixes are whittled down. He's already kind of stopped Phoenix production. They've been worth their weight for sure, though. Cure working on +2 attack, whereas Zest just +2 armor. He's on a single forge at the moment, so he's more focused on unit composition. Zest not taking a 4th until he was sure he won the fight. Cure looking for it. He finds it. 4th command center's already on the way for Cure. So neither side with a decisive advantage, but the Colossi have as of yet been unscouted. He's extending his thermal lances. The Phoenixes keep stabbing in. It's 66 to 69 workers. Nice by Zest. But that means Zest doesn't really have the probe count for that, oh, I'll throw 12 zealots here and 12 zealots there and a storm drop here and all those exciting things. Now, his army cannot be rebuilt easily. Cure's army is relatively easy to replenish, but just not as powerful pound for pound. More charge lots at the back. A few waiting for their opportunity to stab in. Zest's turn to move out and be aggressive independently here. A warping brings him to 184 supply. He's got +2 armor, blink, and extended thermal lance finishing, and there's no direct counter to these Colossi. The minefield is good. This is going to be a little awkward. Wait a second, there's an army there. Colossi involved. Wait, the upgrades aren't done for Zest yet. 1 Archon evaporated. EMP getting involved. Colossi getting hit by... Oh, wait, he dodges the Colossi! The Widowmine shot with the... Oh, everything! The fight begins! EMPs across the board! They do have enhanced shockwaves! Big warping! Widowmine's connecting on the Phoenixes! The Colossi stripped of their shields! Zest micros back! More charge lots in the front! There's nothing to directly deal with the Colossi! Zest slicing through, and then suddenly the bio count is whittled down to nearly nothing. GG! Zest with the decisive tech. And pounds through just a few Colossi. Finds the timing before Cure. Cure obviously didn't know the army was right in front of his face. But it is a best. I believe this is a best of 5. Honestly, I cast a game 1. I'm like, might be a good series. We'll see. Alright. We'll go game 2. I don't think Cure is going to get caught off guard like that again. It felt a little uncharacteristic. I don't know. Cure, I think of him... Honestly, I kind of think of him as a TVT player for some reason. Mostly because he ends up getting to the round of 8 and then, like, losing to Maru or something. I don't know. Cure, you really need to market yourself better. But Zest takes game 1 by simply being a step ahead on tech. Cure playing like... Well, he's playing like a Terran who fights to lose. What do I mean by that? How many games have you seen a Terran player desperately micro-bio units away and just have just barely enough to survive, and then the Protoss walks over with a variety platter of splash damage and just kind of kills them? Not because the Terran was in such a bad place economically, but simply because they didn't get their tech in time. There was no reason that Cure could not have either added on a Ghost Academy or more starports earlier, besides the fact he just didn't. There were plenty of times when he could have gone down that road. So, we'll have to see. And I would expect him to do so this game. Does Zest mix it up? Last game he opened up with Stargate. Those Phoenixes went really well, despite the fact the Stargate, honestly, that kind of tilts over into when you scout something, sometimes it's more valuable for your opponent to scout part of what you're doing rather than nothing. Because in that case, he's overreacting to what he thinks it's going to be, and then it was just Phoenixes. Of course, the Phoenixes, now that they've been shown, You don't really want Cyclones, really. They're not terrible, but the Cyclones are for countering Oracle. They're kind of spot defense. They're expensive. Honestly, you'd probably rather have Widow Mines or even tanks and Vikings for a push towards the third. The Cyclones were definitely not the ideal response. It made it a lot harder for Cure to put any pressure on. Zest has yet to commit to any tech. Am I correct about that? I am. He hasn't gotten Stargate first. He's waited. There's no Reaper this game out of Cure. He's not going to get it walled out again. The Reaper last game, very valuable, but Zest is going to mix it up. Robotics Facility. Probably the safest and most passive option. But, as I say that, I acknowledge that there are plenty of builds that involve just building like 3 more gateways of Prism and trying to kill your opponent, which, if they think you're going for heavy tech, is very possible. Okay, so the command center will finish. Oh.
What a save!
That's what we like to call a pro gamer move. Sometimes pro players forget that the command center, the base command center, can put SCVs inside of it because they so religiously build orbitals. But in this case, Cure showing that off. It's going to be... Now, this doesn't mean mech. It definitely doesn't, but it is going to be Hellion Banshee, which I'm excited to see how Cure plays it out. It's much higher chance of going into mech. Let's put it that way. Alright, the Hellions. Looking for an opportunity. Will they really? Oh my. Well, that ain't gonna happen. So instead of walling off the front, Zest just built plenty of units. That was his play. He also does have 3 gates. Building shield batteries. I think he's kind of expecting both. Well, Hellions almost always lead into Banshee. He did just kind of build a Warp Prism and is looking to do counterattack damage. Zest not afraid to scrap it out. He is very, I don't know if comfortable is the right word, but he's willing to throw himself into that situation. Because back at home, there's going to be a tank and some Marines, but that's not enough to deal with all these Stalkers, especially if the tank is in a mediocre spot. Cure, at the same time, should be able to get some damage done. The boys are vulnerable. Tank gets some shots off. Hellions going through. Cloak Banshee looking for an opportunity as well. The Hellions can one-shot probes if he micros well. The Stalker's still doing some damage. Cloak Banshee back at home. I'm not sure what he has there. The Hellions still looking for opportunities. Tanks firing shots. Probes dying. The battery's out of energy. Is there an observer at home? 9 probes so far and counting, but the command center is lifted. This is getting real awkward. 11 probes. This is real damage adding up here. 12 probes. Counting. You can look at the counter. It's not that hard. 13 probes and the Banshee gets out, but at the same time, on the other side, is there... Oh, there's an observer, which means the Banshee, I believe, died. Yes, the Banshee died. But Cure can come down his ramp. He's even on workers. If he crushes this attack, especially if he gets the Warp Prism, which would be possibly too much. Okay. Oh, he has a 3rd command center on the way. Oh, that's probably the most important thing here for Cure. That 3rd command center really makes things more difficult for Zest. He has to get damage done. But he's warping into the main, and tanks aren't the most mobile. Another tank comes out. More SCVs are going to die, and they have to die. He really does need damage here. 8, 9 SCVs in the last minute. He's down to 26. Okay, that... It didn't seem like much. Just a little Warp Prism attack, but guess what? Now suddenly Zest is in a much more comfortable scenario. A Colossus is on the way, whereas Cure is going for Speed Cloak Banshees. Colossi, not a great counter to that. I don't think... Well, Zest technically sees the Starport Tech Lab upgrading, but... Oh, no. Did he see that was the Starport, though? Colossi, not a bad part of any composition, but once you get to 3 or 4 Banshees with Speed and Cloak, Stalkers are not really the answer, especially Stalkers without Blink. They tear right through shield batteries. A couple Stalkers not gonna cut it. So Cure is going to have 3 command centers. Already a messy game. I think Zest is making... He didn't quite have the... He might think that's a barracks. He did not see the starport that has the tech lab still. Because you'd expect a barracks here. Wow. Pre-cloaking these Banshees. Just as Zest is moving out. Speed is a long upgrade, though, so... The Banshee's going to find more damage. If they get 4 or 5 probes, it's already worth it. Even if he loses the... He has to recall an observer. That's always an incredibly tough scenario. Recall an observer just to drive the Banshees away. Not even to kill him. Banshee double back. The observer spots it. 8 probes. Cure is ahead in workers. So, it is going to be mech. I get my wish. The one thing Cure doesn't have is something that really translates into a push very easily. I believe now... Yeah, now Zest is going to realize Cure is making it happen. There can be a very realistic scenario here, though, where Zest just doesn't have enough Stalkers to kill the Banshees. It's a super awkward spot to get into. You don't think of Banshees as, like, the Stalker Slayers, but they do a whole lot of damage. It's just you rarely see them built in such numbers. They don't often hunt in packs. They're usually lone wolves. But Banshee packs are terrifying when they come together. Terrifying, if you would. Like, a Stalker and a Sentry isn't gonna cut it. They got their hyperflight. They're on the hunt. There is a cannon. Sentry just dies. Stalker just... Well, the Colossi are so tall, they block the shots there on the target fire. But more probes are gonna die. He is not respecting these Banshees. That will be the death of him. If he doesn't... There we go. Templar Archives. He's getting observer speed just to try to keep up. There is a prism drop with so little... So here's another way to deal with warp prisms. If you just build so many buildings that can't drop their units, then you've successfully defended warp prisms. Big brain strat from Cure. So this might be the only timing... Oh, no, that's too many tanks. There is no timing. Unless Cure makes a huge mistake here. There is no time. This army is not enough. Does he have +1? No. He's getting +1 armor. He's got charge lots. But there's so many Marines and tanks and Banshees that the charge lots... Zest is going to try to pincer this. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know, though. This could all go horribly wrong for Zest. It really depends. Timing is everything. The tank target fire is going to be important. Zest... I thought Zest scanned for some reason. But Cure realizes there's been an observer on him for a while, but he's going to just kind of happen to find this army. I don't know. Can Zest actually go? Here he goes! He's coming in from the left. Colossi looking for an opportunity. The army in from the right as well. He's got the prism to potentially drop on top. The Banshees move into position. A lot of charge lots from the side. Warp prism gonna get a full warp in. Zest going for the break, but the Banshees are ripping through the Stalkers. The tank's holding for now. Several have been taken out by charge lots, but the numbers are being whittled down. Cure losing 27 SCVs. He's gonna lose most of his army, but so is Zest, is the Banshees clean house. What a mess. The charge lots are gonna try to deal with the tanks. There is a scenario, is Zest done enough damage? Because so many SCVs died, he still has 48 though. More warp-ins continuing to come through. Cure starting to fall apart here. The Banshee count isn't high enough. 1-1 is about to finish, but there's almost no units. He needs to lift that orbital command. He does. Tanks on the high ground. Cure is bleeding out. He has to cancel. He gets a lot of minerals back. It looks like Zest found the thinnest slice of a timing, where he had just enough to break through the tank lines. But Cure's not out of it yet. Even though he lost 30+ workers, he still has 50. And he still has 3 orbitals to work with. There's still tanks. Now, he could drop on top of the tanks. There are Hellbats to help. Wait, one of those is an Archon! Damage is being done. The Banshee's helping out a lot. The Hellbats... It's unclear. There's a lot going on down here. The SCVs are pulled. That's never a great sign when you only have Banshees. And Zest punches through. Oh, that was... I mean... The big struggle with mech is getting to that critical mass of units. Cure went for the double armory. He was building a bunch of command centers. The Banshees were doing a whole lot of damage, but Zest isn't afraid to pull the trigger. That is... I didn't think it would do it. I think the upgrades factored in. The fact that it was +1 armor on the Zealots helped out a lot against the tanks. But... interesting game. Zest is... He just beats up his opponent. Alright? He comes over there and starts slapping him around. He doesn't care. He's losing probes back at home. Honestly, while Cure went mech off of that... Now we can do some more Cure versus Zest. But I'm pretty sure this is a best of 5. It might be a best of 7. It's definitely not a best of 3. From an amazing tournament, Wardy casted. Let's see if I can get any hints based on who's in the game. Wardy's amazing, incredible tournament, which is all of the ones he does. So make sure to check out Wardy. Now, you might be like, how do you not know which tournament? It's because Wardy is so amazing. He sends out replay packs of hundreds, literally, of replays. And with all these amazing players from all these amazing tournaments. But that's about as much specificity as we have. So, I'm just here to show good games for the fans. Thank you, Wardy. Now, that was not the greatest example of mech against Protoss. I had really high hopes for the Banshees. But the Colossi help break through. Archons take like 74 tank shots to kill. Okay, it's more like 15, but they do eat a lot of damage, especially if the tanks aren't target fired well. It looks like Cure will build a Reaper on this map. It's interesting, the meta of whether or not we're building Reapers. Zest is also not walled off his natural. It kind of became near standard to put your second pylon down the ramp in order to build some gateways to wall off against Hellions. Zest is like, you know what's a good wall against Hellions? Building units. And that's been his counter thus far to pretty decent success. He snuck his probe all the way behind. The Reaper's going to be halfway across the map. Will he turn it around? No, there's a Marine in production. But Zest is actually getting in that slight timing before the Marine finishes. Probes. Tell me there isn't a more... Jimmy, we still haven't solved... I'm not sure what the... I think it's a graphics card issue. But I'm not 100% on the mini frame drops. We're looking into it. I might need to download some more RAM. But I'm not 100%. So just take a moment to enjoy what's on the screen at that time, I guess. Oh, an Adept got across. The Reaper's getting real kills because he sent the first Adept across, but delaying the command center is a big win in and of itself. Reaper. Is there tech up there? Oh, give me my production tab back. Thank you. Robotics is about to complete. Starport on the way. Oh my god, Cure didn't finish his command set. Cure! You had one job. Well, there's a lot of jobs. This is StarCraft, alright? Not League of Legends. But you had one job. You had to finish that command center. And what you did? What are you did? Biggest brain. You didn't. Is that going to be a Raven? Yes. Another Rex on the way. Now, this is a pretty nasty map for tank pushes. There's a lot of nice little niches and ledges and cliffs you can work with. Zest, what is this? Wait, what? Are you... What? He's got how many gates? He's got 3 gates. He just likes getting up in his opponent's grill. He just likes getting damage done. I like this little mini wall here. The Reaper's going to get some damage. He's in the main, just kind of killing workers. Meanwhile, back at home, the Adept shade through. There's a lot of Marines already. This Reaper found some kills. The Hellion finding more kills. The Adepts. This is... Oh, here we go again. All right. We're punching each other in the face a little more. There's a tank on the high ground, though. He could... Oh, wait. Interference Matrix is 75 energy now. So 5 SCVs have died, but so have 9 probes. And Zest doesn't have a lot of tech to back this up. There's already 2 barracks here for Cure. That's important to note, because Cure can quickly translate this into a push. You can't do that with Mech or with Banshees. Like, those are expensive units, and you don't have much production. When you already have 2 Rex, Stim comes up pretty quick. So Zest is... Like, what? Zest? No, what? Zest had a breakdown there. Oh. Zest stopped responding for a quick moment. He lost a sentry and a stalker. That could have been super helpful because he found a good opportunity to get damage done in the main. The tank going to work. This will even out some of the damage that was dealt on the other side. What is the workers? Cure's killed 11. Zest has got 9. But once again, Cure has the ability to turn this into an attack much quicker with the 2 barracks and Stim. Whereas Zest doesn't really have much. He's getting charge, which is almost entirely reliant on your opponent making a mistake at this stage. Because there is a Raven, anti-armor missile, super helpful with Marine Marauder. There's going to be 3 racks and double medevac. Well, Zest got off to a decent start this game. Cure has even the odds. A whole bunch more gateways on the way and a secondary prism. It looks like Zest is going to do... Oh, was he blowing up in Stalkers or something? Zest is going to do an all-in into a timing. It really depends. It depends on whether Cure is out on the map. If Zest can catch him off guard. On paper, Cure is going to have a way better army. With +1, combat shield, stim, medevacs, plenty of Marines, and Marauders. Up against just straight charge lots with no upgrades, mind you. A Dark Shrine, a Desperation Templar. Eight charge lots being warped in. Yeah, Zest is going... This is the timing, though. Charge is done. Zest is out on the map. Now, there is a Raven as well, so Dark Templar less effective there. A scan. He sees no third. Cure sees no third. You know what that means. Retreat! Here comes Zest! He's moving in. The auto turret helping to funnel these units. He can easily get the prism as well. Zest being a little sloppy with it at the back. More zealots are warped in. Cure has to defend both sides. He defends the front beautifully, but the main base is under fire. Looks like combat shields is finished up. Stim, medevacs. If he can... Wait, what? Where are the prisms? There are prisms all over the place. Doesn't matter, though. Cure holds the line. Cure holds the line. That time around, Zest maybe took the aggression a little too far. I don't think he wanted to play a longer game on World of Sleepers, but it did feel like a bit much there. And when you lose that many workers and you're kind of stuck on Prism Gateway, like, you don't have 4 gases. There's not much to be done. So that means Cure picks up, he puts a point on the board. You're not going to be super heavy with... I mean, your Hellions did damage this time. So that's good. But honestly, if you're Cure, there's not there's not too much to take away from that. It's like, well, when Hellions get in, they do damage. It's like, well, tell me something I don't know. So we're on Zen. A beautiful map, but also a little confusing. Because the natural base, rather, has 2 entrance points. You've got the singular ramp, which has a single spot that isn't mineral walled off, by the way. You can mine through those minerals to open up more, usually done by the defender, not the attacker. But a mule, I've seen once or twice a mule drop, because a mule mines, I believe, is it 20 or 25? I don't know. It's 20 plus, which is enough to get through these mineral walls. I should really know how much it is. First SCV's going out. He's going to check. Is there a Nexus? The answer is yes. He doesn't know that yet. Sees the Nexus. Does Zest put his second? No Reaper shall pass. There's going to be a Reaper. So what are you gonna do, Cure? Factory. Reaper has to slide around. There's still, you can jump up this one little area here. There's this entire side of the base, but you have to go all the way around the outside. Adept is nearly complete. He's going to try to pick off a probe. Well, got to be a little careful. If you take 2 hits, they can chase you down with the shade. 3 hits to kill a Reaper, and that's a Stargate at the back of the mineral line. Zest falling back to it. The Reaper's actually going to go all the way around. It might find this. And if you can see the Stargate, you can see what's building inside of it. Unless we're in a replay, apparently, because... No, you can't actually see the icon. Let's try to go to the Zest cam. Yeah, that's odd. That might be a replay bug. You usually see an outline of whatever unit's building, but... we do not see that here. Believe me, for realsies, when you guys play an actual game of Starcraft, sometime in the next 10 years, the second decade of SC2, then that is something that happens. A Widow Mine is out, but where is it? Let's play Find the Widow Mine, guys. Do you know where it is? It's at the front. What a boring place to put a Widow Mine. The Marines? Oh, well that... Don't... Zest! Just don't. It's going to be... Now we didn't go Phoenixes this time. He went for an Oracle. I'm surprised. Like, it's been a few games. Break out the Phoenixes again. Zest, I really like the Phoenix build. But the Oracle is kind of a known quantity. He took a lot of damage on it, too. And the Protoss apparently don't have the technology to repair mechanical units. They have to rely on the Terrans for that, which is a little ironic in this matchup. Fun fact, in team games, you can repair your teammates' probes, oracles, immortals, stalkers, all these other mechanical units if you're a Terran. But why would you ever want to work with a Protoss? 3 oracles, so he's really up in the ante here. This has a lot of potential for damage, but is also a huge investment, of course. Twilight Council and Forge are the choices behind. The Widowmon drop still looking for an opportunity. 3 oracles heading towards the main. And is there anything to stop them? They will, well, they obviously one-shot workers here with all 3 of them. Drops a tag. Cure. Meanwhile, Widowmon drop, found 5 probe kills, but he also knocked the medevac with the Widowmons inside out of the sky. That's a win for Zest. getting a third base up as well as shutting down the only attempt at harass here. Oh, he's going to go blink. Feeling confident off of that. Blink +1. Which only if you feel like you have some pretty solid map control and time before a push out is really an option. It's something that Neeb used to do a lot, but the Terran players just got really good at finding the timings to punish it. Stalkers just pound for pound don't take as much of a beating as Zealots do. And that's why charge becomes, okay, why are only like 4 of you firing? Oh my god. Finish the rocks. Gotta stutter step down the rocks, otherwise they're gonna get away. 2 medevacs though. Not Twilight. Stim? I don't even know what I was thinking with Twilight there. Templar? No, Stim. Stim has a T. You press T to stim your Marines. Fun fact, Stim combat shield +1, 2 medevacs on the way. There's still a pretty big window before blink and +1 out of Zest. He's chrono boosting to try to close it. 5 gateways are now finishing up, but they haven't yet warped in. It's just sentries and stalkers for now. The medevacs are here. He brought some more reinforcements. Cure's just kind of chilling. I think he's waiting out the tag, maybe? He has a whole lot of units. Zest needs to get a big warp in. Because even though he has blink and even though he has +1, well, he will in a moment, this army just doesn't trade. Oh. Cure's just kind of chilling. He does not seem to care that his army's just out on the map. There's nothing that Zest can really do to punish him for it. He can keep getting vision of him, but that's a pretty big Terran army there. There's a few sentries, but there's a lot of space to cover with him. Oh, he sees a handful of units. Zest moves into position. The army supply is 75 to 47. Stim combat shield +1. There's Widow Mines involved. Charge is still pretty far out. He's opening up another opportunity. You don't want to go up that ramp, though. Like, going up that ramp is... He's just trying to open up an opportunity at the 3rd. Don't go up a single ramp when they have force field. That's a lot of Terran. Marauders shoot over the top. The Marines are trickling through. A lot of the energy used on force field right off the bat. There's a Colossus in production. Another one, I believe, in the main. No, it's at the natural, but still a long way off. Cure waiting out the force fields. There's only so much energy here. He uses a couple more, but the Terran army is slipping around to the side. A lot of the Widow Mines have yet to be utilized. The medevacs will pull back. More Widow Mines going to zone things out. The Oracle's taking a whole lot of damage. Completely out of energy as well. The probes are pulled. Probes not a great counter to Widow Mines. There's just not the firepower here to deal with this as he's tearing through everything. A Colossus pops out. A Colossus is knocked out. So far, it's not a game ender from Cure, but he's killed 8 probes. He's gotten a 3rd base up behind it. He's killed all the sentries, all those valuable gas units. 1 Colossus went down. There's already Liberators on the way. Is there a 2nd starport? No, not yet. But he's building a fusion core for Liberator range. Cure got the damage done. He killed 4 sentries, 2 oracles, a Colossus. He's gotten 17 probes thus far. There's nothing slowing him down back at home. There's no Warp Prism or Oracles doing damage. Single Oracle there. Cure's production is still on point. He's gone up to, well, he hasn't added on Barracks 4 and 5. I lied. They're right there. But that's your standard 3-base production. The one thing he doesn't... Does he have an armory? He does not have an armory. That is the one thing Cure is lacking. He's not going to have those 2-2 upgrades as an option. And eventually that is an advantage to Zest, who did hold. He is now building Colossi. Liberator at the back. Going to force Zest's attention and Stalkers away. At the same time, Cure moves in. There's 3 Colossi. I don't know if he has the thickness in his army to fight that. They don't have extended thermal lance for quite a while, but just too much splash damage. Fourth base on the way. The armory is definitely a big issue for Cure. That was just a mistake. If he's going to go for Liberator range, he's playing the game out long enough that an armory was pretty much necessary. So, kind of surprising to see Cure just now getting it. He's going to be a full set of upgrades behind. But of course, Liberator range makes things difficult. Thankfully for Zest, there's already a Stargate, so we can build something like a Void Ray in order to deal with it. Well, in order to deal with Liberators, but any time lost mining. Look at the worker count, 62 to 72. Scans for observers, none to be found. Zest needs all that robo-time for army. Fourth base on the way for Zest, but Cure should be landing his soon. Indeed. 182 to 145 in the supply count. He's got 6 Liberators, and he's building 4 at a time. 2 starports now? 2 starports. Plus 2 attack starts. Definitely an oversight there. So if this game comes down to anything, it's going to come down to the upgrades. If it goes in favor of Zest. Because Cure's still in control of tech. There's no... Blank Stalkers are a soft counter to Liberators, but ranged Liberators make them even softer. And with all that bio underneath. Two more Stargates and a fleet beacon. I don't know if he spotted the Liberator count or he just knows he's wondering why there hasn't been an attack yet. It's a pretty obvious reason. A double drop waiting for an opportunity. Scans. Just sees Stalkers there, but is going to see the 2-2 upgrades on him. The Liberators don't want to get too ahead of themselves. Zest realizes that... Oh my god, everybody's got to file through here. Oh god, this could get real disgusting real quick. Liberation is at hand. The entire base is a Venn diagram of freedom. Oh my god. He's got 11 Liberators on the field with range. Not that it matters much in this scenario. There's no splash damage to take him out. He's holding the line with the bio. The Stalkers come down, but the bio hits the 4th simultaneously. The Liberators are chucking through everything. The Stalkers being obliterated. They blink underneath, but their numbers dwindle. The probes are slaughtered. All it took. He recalls to the other side. Will he save the base? No, but he will at least get the recall off. Cure obliterates the 4th and all the workers. And also the natural. Zest is down to 2 bases and 47 probes. He does have a higher army supply. He's about to have +3 attack. There's nothing left to do but attack. The Liberator count has been reset. Cure is going to finish up +2 attack. +2 armor isn't that far behind. Where the hell were these SCVs? Oh, they were going to this base, which he's taking, by the way. Good luck going up that ramp. That ain't happening. Does he have any ship weapons upgrades? No ship weapons yet. He's working on it. Here comes Zest. He drops a tag on the army. Gets it at the last second. A turret almost kills the Warp Prism. But, well, on its own. The 4th base is exposed. Cure has a singular drop in the main. Shouldn't be a huge factor here. There is a planetary. Will Zest try to break this position? He's got to make a decision very quick. He goes straight for the planetary. Jumps it, kills it. But Cure, the boys are eating all the Colossus shots. He's using Liberators for semi-anti-air. The Colossi are caught in the wrong spot. He's trying to juggle them out. There's a Dark Templar in the mix. More of the boys are pulled. The Colossi holding the line. That's a lot of Immortals. Ooh. 38 SCVs. Cure maybe getting a little ahead of himself on that. Cure. Okay. He pulled the SCVs despite the base already being dead. So maybe a little bit of a questionable decision there out of Cure, who's really done a great job of helping Zest whittle down that worker count. Ghosts and Liberators, though. He's got both parts of the winning Terran army, assuming they're in position. There's only 2 Colossi. There's no Storm, no Disruptors. EMPs. He does have enhanced shockwave, so that radius is quite large. The Stalker's looking for an opportunity. There's nothing out on the map here for Cure. +3 armor is on the way. +3, +2. No other upgrades for Cure, but he's relying on EMP to remove the shields. Cutting most of the army's HP in half, effectively. I'm not sure who this gets better for now as time goes on. Probably Zest, but he's still on such a low economy and low tech himself. He's building 2 Tempests. He can't really break the Liberators. And now things are going to get a little dicey. Liberators sent out. How many does Kira have? He's got 7. This base won't be mining for a bit. The army comes back. Kira's already moving away. What happened to this? Oh, looks like he brought the command center back when he lost all his SCVs. Scans for observers. No obs on this. That usually indicates he's going to move out. Tempests have hit the field. 3-3 starts for Kira. Does he really think this game is going to last that long? I guess so. They both punched each other back into low economies. Oracle, a good choice. He scans a Dark Templar, by the way. Oh, snipe it! Okay. Ghost, not a bad unit against Zealots and DTs in and of themselves. They do a bunch of extra damage to light units. So, that Liberator sieged up a base that hasn't existed since he killed it. Cure giving Zest more credit than he gave himself with that Liberator. +3 armor about to finish. Cure's holding on to things. How many command centers? We got 4 orbitals. It's going to be up against 4 Nexi. Zest is mining from another base. He's scratched out a few more probes. Cure, army supply is relatively even. The big kicker here are those ghosts. Oh, nope, let me go. I have no idea. That dark, oh, that's a little awkward. I don't know if that's what the DT wanted. I think it got drawn so far off wherever it was going, it forgot what it was trying to do. That'll sometimes happen with the AI. Will he find the Warp Prism? Still a glaring lack of Templar, and honestly, Disruptors might be a helpful option at this point. How many robotics facilities survived? 1. Wait, does he have a robo base still? He does. It's in the main, I believe. I would be wrong. It's right next to that robo. I'm actually blind. Cure now has a 4th. Zest technically has 4 bases mining as well. We've climbed up from those economic disparities and despair that we saw earlier. +3. Cure was pretty much playing the waiting game until his upgrades could complete. But the Tempests, they don't have +1 attack, so they won't be one-shotting the Liberators and Vikings in that number. EMP spots an observer, takes it out. Charge Lance looking for an opportunity at a very opportune timing. Or is it? It's a lot of Zealots. Uses the EMP, trying to get up the ramp. Liberation is at hand. Gonna drag the entire army back towards the main. Raises the depots, including the dozens at the natural. That's a lot of charge lots to lose. But Zest is starting to bank up some minerals. He doesn't have any other tech. He doesn't have the Templar or the Disruptor, so he has to start trying to trade out here a little bit. Whoa, the Vikings doing a whole lot of damage. EMP across the board. The Terran army very strong here. I don't know if Zest can win a heads-up fight. If EMPs land and the Liberators get involved at all, he just doesn't have the splash damage. He really needs to try to pick off units and force them into a bad position. Zest needs it, even though he's maxed out. This is such a weird army. Oh, Guardian shield. The Stalkers blink into the EMPs, but here comes the Terran army. EMPs across the board. Charge left flank from the south. Vikings clearing everything in the skies, including the Colossi. More Stalkers warped in to reinforce. Cure trying to hold the line with his bio. His Vikings are going to die, but so are most of the Tempests. He picks up and gets out. Zest loses all of those tall and air units, whereas Cure loses a lot of his bio underneath and most of his Liberators. But bio versus Stalker Zealot, the bio's going to win every time, especially with the upgrade so close to even. I believe +1 shields is done now. Really needs Disruptors or something to chunk into that bio. This army is just going to be so cost-effective. There are plenty of medevacs. EMP is important. More robos on the way. Zest trying to play some aggressive defense here. Very close match. Incredible match. Neither side finding that decisive advantage. I feel like Zest doesn't feel like he has the economy to go for something like High Templar, but or for Disruptors. I stand by Disruptors being the choice. Especially since he just reset those Liberators. Like, he's trying to pick off individual Marauders. Come on, man. Like, what are we doing here? A few DTs in the mix. It feels like Cure... He doesn't... I don't know if Cure realizes it yet. But if he just builds up this army and gets close to mechs, he's in a pretty winning position. How many Vikings? 4 left over. The EMPs are everywhere. How many ghosts? He's got 6 ghosts. If you get to a critical mass of Colossi and he hasn't continued rebuilding Vikings, that's an option. But Cure is getting closer and closer. It looks like he's taking... Is that his main? The main... Wait, that's his natural. I think his main is at his 5th now. The charge lots find an opportunity. We'll drag him a little out of position. Cure not going to be baited into bringing his whole army back. He realizes it was a feint. He does have the sensor tower to help out. Zest has an observer, but it's not an incredible position. Killing any Vikings is helpful here. He's building up more Immortals. Both sides are maxed out again, but I gotta say, I don't like Zest's army as much. He's building... He doesn't have... He just doesn't have splash damage outside of Colossi. And with this many Medivacs and Vikings, the Colossi are not... He really has to... I don't know. The EMPs are going to make charge lots a lot less of an issue. 3 Colossi are not a deadly number. Especially with Vikings on the field with some upgrades. The Stalker's looking for an opportunity, but here comes Cure. EMPs across the board. He's going to try to drop on top. The Warp Prism just going to be taken out. There's no Templar in there. He scans for the DTs. Terran from all sides. A Warp and not going to be nearly enough, and Cure smashes. He smashes Zest's army. The effective HP cut down. The Vikings whittling down the Colossi. Medivacs holding the line. More than enough Terran. And Cure builds the army. Zest does not. That's the summary. That brings us to Game 5. This time it's Zest. In the first match, it was Cure refusing to do that tech transition. But this time, Zest was the one who really refused. Still some very scrappy games, but I've learned from the best. Since Game 5 is coming up, it's the perfect time for an ad break. So, I'll be right back. Just one moment. If you guys could pause ad block, that'd be awesome. Thank you for watching. I'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Winter, and I'm here to talk to you about all the exciting ways you can click on things and do things, and I get more money. Are you on YouTube right now? Do you want to comment on how Protoss is OP? Well, maybe wait till... Maybe comment right after the first game instead of now. Or maybe just complain about Zerg, like everyone else does. And let's ask the question of, why aren't there more ZVZs? Really, though, why aren't there more ZVZs? That's what I'm asking. Now, if you happen to be on Twitch as well, so many platforms, it's like all the Mario games combined. But, Twitch Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, you can connect it with Twitch and get Twitch Prime. Get shitty loot for games you don't really care about, or subscribe to a streamer of your choice for free every single month. Yes, it does mean something different than subscribing on YouTube, which you should have already done. But, it does get a little confusing. Not that confusing, though. So, if you subscribe for free right now, I get more money. If you subscribe on YouTube for free right now, not as direct, but it doesn't hurt. Give it a shot. Ring the bell. Thank you again to Wardy for these replays. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Good luck, have fun, and good night. Thank you guys for sticking around. Now you get to watch some more StarCraft as a reward. Game 5. Zest versus Cure. I believe this is from the Kung Fu Cup hosted by Wardy, but I'm not 100%. Either way, it's an incredible StarCraft match between two incredible StarCraft players. From Dragon Phoenix Gaming, we do have Cure. And in the top right, I was looking to see if he's on a team right now. Somehow, he's not. I'm not even sure how that's possible. But, Zest. A hot pickup, if you would. Dragon Phoenix game. Alright. No proxies. Actually, no proxies this entire series. Which is, usually you'll see, like, at least one mixed in. And I don't think either of these players are, like, have some sort of, principled stance against them. But I guess they just respect each other enough to realize that it would probably just put them in a worse position. Reaper expand against one gate expand for what I believe is the 5th time in a row. SCV Scout will be spotting the expansion, but will we go up and check anything more? The pylon placements. Because that can help determine where your Reaper can and cannot go. Looks like that is indeed the case. First Reaper, it's going to be Stargate from Zest. I think both players. Eternal Empire is another spiritual successor to Cloud Kingdom. It literally is in the map description. I'm not trying to be clever. But it is designed as a longer macro map. You can play pretty defensive. 3 bases are comfortable. You've got a relatively small ramp. I've almost never seen anyone take out the rocks near the natural. There's watchtowers to see the major attack paths. And a 3rd command center from Cure. So he's really embracing it. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, are we just going to go full macro? Because so far, whenever Zest has gone for the Stargate, he's opted for a 3rd Nexus. Pretty much right off the bat. Maybe adding on 2 more gates first. It's going to be Phoenixes again. How are we zoomed out this far? Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa! What is this? Wardy, how did you do that? Wardy's going to have to tell me how he did this. Is there like a mod that... I need to figure... Can you zoom out even more? What is this? Oh, I know you can zoom out some. But like... Oh, did I just do the same amount? Am I a dumb person? Wait, let me try it. Yeah. I think I might just be dumb. I thought it was crazy, but it wasn't crazy. I was just dumb. Never mind. Okay, nobody... Edit that part out, Jimmy. Edit it. Nobody will care. Nobody can tell the difference between 3 and 4 minutes anyways. They're all gold leaguers. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. They don't play. First Phoenix is heading out. Is there anything to greet them? A couple Cyclones. 1 Cyclone. I don't know. Who can tell? Alright, is there any real way to count Cyclones? Meanwhile, a single Reaper goes in to try to match the damage. Gets distracted by a gateway. 5 SCVs go down. Now remember, Cure has a 3rd command center, so that does make a difference. Oh my god, he gets one probe. So, counter damage, I guess. There's a rubble bay already on the way. Oh my god. Is he on one gate? Zest, you absolute madman. He's doing a Roddy build, alright? We're just not going to make gateway units. Phoenixes and Colossi. So I think because the Cure has a third command center, it isn't so much damage from the Phoenixes. The problem is, it's not so much the economic damage, it's getting your production up and being able to leverage that into any sort of timing. Cure, when you go for 3 CCs this early on, you just don't have a starport super quick. You don't have the money for it. You don't have the gas. And that means there will be Colossi. It appears Zest doesn't even know what disruptors are. Disruptors, I still say, disruptors really could have saved him last game. Oh, no turret in the main. Cure is going to keep bleeding to these Phoenix. Don't do it. Don't scan. Kind of wanted to scan. He's lost 9 SCVs so far for nothing. 1 probe died to the Reaper. The only counter damage here. Zest is chrono boosting probes till the probe cows come home. Or space cows. And then another game. Colossi on the way. And now this is looking much more... I mean, this is the scenario to go Colossi. When you know your opponent is focused on heavy mineral but less tech... Barracks heavy but less tech heavy composition. This is when you go for Colossi. He's going to have a lot of Marines, a lot of Marauders, but he's not going to have very many Medevacs or Vikings. And Colossi are more than enough of a force multiplier when they have extended thermal lance to deal with this. Zest is shaping up well, but don't count Cure out. Last game, it felt like he really knew his position in the game well. He made a couple mistakes like the upgrade timings, but Cure is so far pretty good at recognizing where he is and what he needs to do. Besides Game 1. Game 1 was pretty rough. Roles kind of reversed in the previous match. Whereas where Zest was just kind of really trying to force a square peg into a much smaller round hole, which so many ways that can go wrong. The Phoenixes, not only do they do damage, but are one of the best ways to scout your opponent is by constantly attacking them. Proking, prodding, watching those units, seeing what they respond with. Loses 1 Phoenix. +1/+1 does complete. +2/+2 immediately begins, but this time Cure is on top of his armory. He's getting a Ghost Academy. It appears in this final match we will not be risking anything early on. Both sides working towards 3 commands, well, not command centers, 3 bases with 70 workers. Zest going for a 4th. Cure slaps us down as well. He's getting Vikings. He's got his Ghost Academy. Armory's on the way, so upgrades won't be too far off. This better not be one of those games that just ends with 1 fight. I'm going to be so disappointed. Spots the Observer, knocks it out. But essentially, we're playing macro trainer right now. A little bit of Zest poking in with the Phoenixes, but a whole lot of just building up what's your ideal unit composition. Apparently for Zest, it does not involve High Templar. He's getting Dark Templar. He just got Prism Speed, I believe. Spotting pylons all over the place. Whereas Cure is going for Ghost Academy, Enhanced Shockwaves, for the EMP radius. He's got 2/2 coming up. What's in there? Show me. 4 Zealots. So, I mean, I don't know what else it was going to be. He doesn't even have a Templar Archives, which I'm still a little confused, Zest, on what that's about. He's adding on gateways up to 12. 4th command center is going to be heading towards the 4th. No, he doesn't need any extra gas. He's got plenty. He's a bio-Terran. In fact, he'll probably be banking gas soon enough, though he is very tech-heavy. Zest is going to get up and out. Up in his grill, out on the map. There. I navigated my way through that whole sentence. Wow, he's floating his factory. Widow mines, not mine mines. Oh, stop talking. Don't stop talking. Your job is to talk. Meanwhile, Zest is just kind of up in here. There's a whole division of charge lots coming in from the right side. A weird engagement out of Zest. The Vikings are starting to clear up the Colossi. The charge lots are mostly cleaned up before the full brunt of the Protoss force engages. The Vikings clearing up Colossi. The Bio taking a lot of damage, but Zest getting driven back here. He's going in towards the fourth. Another huge round of charge lots comes up. A bit of a disjointed attack from Zest. If that had been timed and executed a little better, it might have been deadly, especially because he was going 2-2 up against 1-1. But now Cure's going to have 2-2. He was able to whittle down the charge lots. Zest is really just trying to pound the point home. He is not letting Cure breathe at all. But now Cure has 2-2. He knocked out the Colossi. Stalker Zealot is not going to cut it anymore. Not on even upgrades without any splash damage to back it up. There's still plenty of ghosts. Where any ghost loss? He only lost one ghost. Spotted the Observer, takes it out. Actually, he did the Venn diagram scan there a little bit. Zest is refilling his army with just Stalkers and Zealots as he goes for 3-3. I think it was a little late on starting it. Cure might be able to catch up somewhat. Storm is in production. He's got some Templar coming up. Another Prism has been built, I do believe. Some more sentries on the way as well. Without Guardian Shield, there is a wall here. How much is he going to drag out of position? There's still an Observer watching for where Cure moves his army. You don't want to get caught out. Zest might have been able to jump that. Planetary Fortress is in production. He definitely needs it at this base, considering what's happened thus far. Zest warping in 12 Zealots at a time. He has 2 Templar, and the Speed Prism, by the way. Oh, the Vikings are on the deck. They can't help. Beautiful storms! The second one not as good. EMPs on the charge lots. The Bio holding the line for now. The Stalkers distracted by buildings. The Stalkers can't fight this on their own. EMPs whittling them down. Another EMP on the charge lots. EMPs doing an incredible job. Zest ripped to shreds. He scans for observers and DTs. There are none to be found. Oh, I take it back. He found an observer. And now Cure is tearing across the map. Zest, why did you think that was the place to fight? Why did you think that was the place to die? Cure had the EMPs. They bring the effective HP of those units to a manageable number. Once again, Zest just deciding, I want to fight. But you're going to lose. Cure really making use of those ghosts. He's really heavy on the ghosts. Well, relatively. You rarely see a Terran make more than 2 or 3. He's pumping them out. He's got 4 at a time on the way. There's going to be about a minute, maybe 40 seconds between 3-3 finishing for Zest and finishing for Cure. So he does have another opportunity. He's at 87 pros. He's at 5 bases, and most of them are still mining. So despite losing all of that and being incredibly cost inefficient, he's rebuilt it already. He's discovered disruptors on the tech tree. 3-3 is done. Templar Prism coming in for a storm drop. Cure has 74 SCVs, but that number could dip dramatically. 1, 2, 3... Gets 8 SCVs. That's okay-ish. Oh, wait, he comes in with the last one. Oh, the alley-oop. 19 SCVs. Zest. Oh, the masterful baits. You thought you were out of the storm. No, it just started. Jimmy, can we check? That's it. Oh, he's going to recall the prism. Will it die? It'll die. But we checked the forecast. That was a beautiful move by Zest, but will it make the difference? That kind of just frees up more supply for Cure. 60 to 70 SCVs is really all you need at this stage if you have this many mining bases and mules. That means his army supply is going to be massive compared to Zest. That's a lot of charge lots up there. Drops an EMP. Still not going to be enough to deal with it. Both sides have 3-3 done. 6 more gateways. Zest is going up to 18 gates. He's got triple robo. His production is off the hook right now. If the hook was a much smaller amount of production. Wow. Best casting. Anyways, EMPs across the board at the front, but guess what? The disruptors don't care. Nice splits to start. Airballs 1. Another fadeaway shot. Finds a ghost and a marauder. Not much more. More shots coming through. More marauders. Not enough. Incredible splits from Cure. He whips out another one. Really just not finding much. Another shot. Gets 2 ghosts this time. And another one. Looks for the curveball. Still nothing. No dice. Zest pushed back, but meanwhile, Charge Lots and Zealots. A single Liberator trying its best, but its best is not good enough. Reinforcements, a couple DTs in the mix. Meanwhile, Cure is splitting on the other side. That one's gonna hit pretty hard. No, only gets 2 Marauders. Another one. Another beautiful split. These splits. Oh my god. Zest is desperately trying to land a shot, but Cure, I don't think he's taken more than 3 units max in any one of those Disruptor hits. The pre-splits are off the charts. The pre-splits are bananas. There's just not that much, and he can't stand his ground with Stalkers against Marauders. The EMPs make it so those units get evaporated very quickly. He's switching back into Colossi. 1 Liberator, though. There's only 4 Disruptors. He's actually taken out 7 Disruptors? Are you crazy? What? He's disrupted the Ruptors. How many Ghosts are there on the field? 5 have died. Less Ghosts than Disruptors have died. That doesn't even make sense. Cure is rebuilding as well. That's... no, oh my god, he went Blink DTs. Don't... oh, how many... Now, the thing about Blink DTs is that's a lot of money to lose. That is a lot of money to lose. Are you... oh, like... DTs are just... he blinks through. DTs are not cheap units. How does he even see him? There's a turret in the main from earlier when he was dealing with Phoenixes! Cure is still boxing out as well. Cure's on top of everything. And he has to recall out. Blink DT is just not the ticket here. Oh, Disruptors throwing out shots. Whoa, he targets one down. He gets another one. Beautiful targeting by Cure. Holy shit. Like, I don't understand. He got so many. The anti-disruptor micro is incredible. Oh my god. That was some of the best I have ever seen. He got every single one besides the ones he minimized. And the Colossi are knocked over. Zest, he's now caught in a prison of his own design. He's gonna force field, but good luck with that. Stalkers can either drop on top or dip right out. But that was, oh, Cure. So just play like Cure. How do you beat Disruptors? Just play like Cure. Holy. Instead, he's like, wait a second, why would I want to be on that side of the force fields when I could be on this one? EMPs before they can even get involved, and guess what? He's just tearing through it all once again at the back. The Robos are exposed, the Medevac's working overtime, but their vacation isn't quite ready yet. He's chrono boosting from the triple Robo, all depowered. There it goes, Cure takes it home. No, I need an instant replay. I need to see that again. Cure deserving victory. Zest not coming up with the tech he needed. Okay, let's watch this. I'm in slow motion. First, an EMP. Targets down 1 Disruptor. Targets again. Micros forward. Targets a third. Another EMP. Disruptor shot. Splits with just these units that were about to be hit. Now let's watch it in real time. From Cure's perspective. Hostile contact indeed. Oh, he even shift targeted the Colossus. Oh, but Cure showing, I think it was partly Cure's genius and but does it always go that right? No. Zest a little sloppy, a lot of sloppy with the Disruptors, but at the end of the day, Cure takes it home 3-2. He was down 2-0, a reverse sweep. A rare feat, to say the least. But if you enjoyed, make sure to smash that like button, like Cure smashes Disruptors, to subscribe, like Kira does to Time's Micro magazine. I was like, is that reference too obscure? No, but a little. It's a little clever. Anyways, and ring the bell. And all those exciting things. If you're on YouTube, if you're in Twitch chat, just say how Terran is the only skilled race and is the only one that takes skill to play, and no other races take any skill, and Terran is super hard, and playing Terran means I'm more of a man than you, and all that, which is all obviously very true. So, thank you, Wardy, for sending those out. Thank you for watching. Good luck, have fun.